Let me reiterate my belief that the IRS must continue to do everything possible to make sure all individuals and organizations can be confident that they will be treated fairly in their dealings with this agency. They need to know they will receive fair, unbiased treatment, regardless of their political affiliation, their position on political issues, or whom they've supported in the last election. And when someone hears from us regarding their tax return, they need to understand it's only because of something that is or should be on their return and no other factors. And if someone else has the same issue regarding their return, they'll hear from us as well within the limits of our budget resources. It's important because even with our declining resources, the IRS will still audit over 1 million taxpayers this year, and they need to be confident they're going to be treated fairly in an objective manner. The situation described by the Inspector General in his May 2013 report should never have happened, and we are doing everything possible to ensure that the mistakes referenced in the IG's report and reflected in the committee's bipartisan report do not happen again. As part of our work to move forward, we have implemented all of the report's recommendations from the IG. The IG noted our efforts in a follow-up report issued March of this year. As to the Finance Committee's own investigation, I'm pleased to report, as noted, that the IRS has accepted all of the recommendations in the committee's report that are within our control, and that includes recommendations in the majority report and the minority report. And we've already made significant progress in implementing those recommendations. Let me briefly summarize the actions we have taken thus far. We've taken steps to ensure the determination process for tax-exempt status is transparent, and the public can easily obtain information on the procedures necessary to obtain a determination. We've reduced the processing times for applications for tax-exempt status, and we're committed to resolving all cases within 270 days, as the committee has recommended. And in fact, the cycle time right now, as a result of work we've taken over the last 2 years, is down to 112 days. We continue to develop new training and workshops for employees on a number of critical issues connected with the application process for tax-exempt status. We've established procedures to ensure applications undergo a neutral review process. These include training employees on the proper way to request additional information when it's needed to complete action on an application. In addition, Treasury and the IRS has noted our drafting guidance on social welfare and non-social welfare activities of 501c4 organizations as recommended by the Inspector General. Our goal is to provide guidance that's clear, fair to everyone, and easy to administer. To ensure accountability in the determination process, the IRS has done a number of things, including requiring managers to conduct periodic workload reviews with their employees. Information on the average amount of time it takes to complete cases is regularly shared up the chain of command with me and other IRS leaders. Our efforts to improve accountability also included centralizing our exempt organization workforces, so leaders now work in the same location as employees who process applications for tax-exempt status. We've also taken actions to ensure risks are managed more effectively in the exempt organization area and throughout the IRS. We now have an agency-wide enterprise risk management program, providing for the regular identification and analysis of risks to be eliminated or managed across the agency. To ensure we properly respond to requests under the Freedom of Information Act, we are developing standard procedures for employees to use when they search for information, and we will provide training to those employees on those procedures. As recommended by both the committee and the GAO, we are tightening internal controls for the process we use to select tax-exempt organizations for audit once they are certified. Although the GAO recently found no evidence of unfair or biased audit selections, we agree with them that tightening the controls will reduce the risk that any unfair selections would occur in the future. Another issue is the need for us to improve our records retention process. We've initiated a process to secure the email records of all senior officials of the agency. In addition, we're taking steps to ensure employees preserve official records created when they send messages using our office communicator system. While we continue working to implement the committee's recommendations, we also appreciate the committee's bipartisan efforts in other critical issues. For example, the committee is considering identity theft legislation containing several provisions that would improve tax administration. These include accelerating due dates for information returns, allowing the IRS to require minimum qualifications for paid tax return preparers, and reinstating streamlined critical pay authority. I'd also urge the committee to consider two other important legislative changes, giving the IRS correctable error authority in limited cases and amending the TEFRA statute to simplify audits of large partnerships.